Hello YouTube, James Baker here, your favorite international tax CPA. I hope my audio quality is better because I have this little microphone here now, my little Yeti. I've had it for a long time, but I'm just starting to use it again. I don't even know if this is the mic that's being used or if it's using the webcam mic. But in any case, thanks for being here. I have a video today, a call from a guy who just opened his LLC, and he wants to know if he really has to file Form 5472, and if he has to file a personal return, a business return, does he have to pay taxes because he has a brokerage account owned by a Colombian company, and he doesn't know what to do with it. So we go over all of those things. It's a pretty quick call. It looks like we're at not too many minutes, but I think it's a pretty quick call. You'll love it. Thanks for being here and watching. Let's get to the call. I don't want to drag this on. Okay, let's get to the call.
Haven't done my taxes, I'm too turned up. Haven't done my taxes, I'm too turned up.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yes, now I can hear you. How's it going?
All right, thank you for taking my call.
Oh, thanks for scheduling the call and for showing up.
All right, so I'll get to it. So I am an NRA, non-resident alien. I do not pass the residence test.
Where are you living?
I reside in Colombia for fiscal and for purposes.
So you said you're non-resident for everything, so you have nothing to do with the U.S. You're not a U.S. citizen or a green card holder or anything.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
I said you're not a citizen or a green card holder. You just a Colombian person living.
Bad.
Okay, perfect. So what are you doing for business?
Tax season. Last year I opened up an LLC. And I can't, because of the COVID, business changed, so I couldn't use the LLC. Zero transactions whatsoever, nothing.
Okay.
So my first question is, do I have to declare something for that LLC? No revenue, no expenses.
So you just open the LLC, you got the EIN number and open a bank account or anything?
Yes, I did open a bank account, but it had no transactions whatsoever.
Okay, so I've said this in other videos. It's not technically for the single member LLC paying to open the company is a reportable transaction, and it should be reported on Form 5472, and it says it in the code. It says it directly there. I had another caller, I think last week, who read the instructions and challenged me on it, and we went through it again in detail. It's quite impractical, and it's annoying that you would have to do this filing even though you didn't do anything with the company, but per the rules, paying to open the company is a reportable transaction, and it would warrant filing the Form 5472, which isn't a tax, it doesn't have a tax calculation to it, but it is an IRS form that you would have to do.
Oh, okay, Jesus, you're right, it doesn't make much sense, but okay, I'll take your advice.
I mean,
so,
I would recommend you do it if you can. If you don't want to, the risk is probably pretty low for getting hit with huge penalties. It's just that the penalty is $25,000 for not filing it, and I don't know how the IRS is assessing it or charging this to people. So let's do it at your own risk because the form doesn't have any tax to it.
Okay, all right. So, well, thank you for your advice. I did see a video you made about that, and it just wasn't clear if I had no transactions in the bank account. So anyways, I'll have to do that. Okay, so I'll appreciate your insight on a second thing. As an NRA, I just moved I had a broker account in the US. I have a Colombian company. I moved that brokerage account to the name of my Colombian company. So basically I sell some options and I get paid some dividends. The company doesn't do any business in the US, and my understanding is that income, selling options and dividends, will be considered as non-US, non-connected income. Is that correct?
Yeah, great question. So stock sales and options and things like that aren't subject to tax by non-residents. Dividends, however, are subject to tax, but the brokerage should withhold 30% on those dividends on your behalf. So you wouldn't have to file anything or pay additional taxes, but you should be receiving those dividends net of the income taxes.
Okay, great. Thank you for that. And the last question would be, for example, do you have as an NRA, I'm subject to estate tax when I die, which I hope is a long time from now.
Yeah.
So my question would be, those assets that are on my company name, because I transferred them to my company, how will the U.S. handle that tax event if I handed them over to my company outside the U.S.?
It's not a U.S. It's your Colombian company, right?
Correct. Yes.
So that's interesting that you're doing it this way. It's good because your Colombian company can't die, so it would never have estate tax issues. So that's pretty easy for you. You don't have to deal with the estate tax issue. What you need to make sure is that the brokerage you're working with understands that and doesn't do it wrong or lock you out. Because what happens is if you don't have it registered right with the broker and they think it's your account, even though maybe you did the paperwork and they say it's just make sure you have it in the company's name correctly with the brokerage, and make sure you maybe confirm with them how they would treat it, because they're the ones that would have the power in this, and you would have to show them, if the account's in your name, that you paid your state taxes before they release the funds. What I'm saying is, I guess the short answer is double check, make sure it's in the company's name, and maybe ask the brokerage you're working with to confirm that they wouldn't have estate tax issues, just to double check if it's not too much of a headache to ask them. That's what I would do to double check. I can tell you from my side that a foreign corp owning stocks is going to be safe and free from estate taxes, and you should be fine. Just to avoid any headaches, confirm with them.
Okay, perfect. You answered all my 3 questions perfectly. So thank you so much for your help and your time.
Now,
how can I get a quote for the services?
So we have 2 ways for these Form 5472s to be filed. I have a very concise course that I prepared that you can see on our company website, the mbtaxconsultants.com. And that
I did not know that. That's
yeah,
awesome.
it's something that should hold up this year, next year, the year after. And we actually will review the forms for you if you do that. So that's a good answer for a lot of people, because we will review the forms, and the course is pretty concise, and I think I've gotten only good feedback. And then the other option is to pay us to do it. And because we have the course and we're a little more a boutique style, it costs more. And we're doing that for $1,250 right now, $1,250. And the course I think is like $297. That might be more palatable for you.
Sense.
Yeah, so that's how we have it set up right now if you want our help with this.
All right. If I go for the course option, would that include the personal filing? Because I understand the LLC. The LLC is a single member whose sole owner, whose sole member is my Colombian company. But the way it was incorporated, the small print says that it's actually, I understand that it's me who's the responsible for the IRS.
So in terms of a personal or a protective filing, it doesn't matter now. You don't need to do it this year because you had no activity. If you have a business that maybe, or if you're doing drop shipping or something and you keep inventory in the US, or you have some risk for the IRS potentially taxing you in the future because you do some kind of business activities in the United States, that's when it's most important to file a protective return. And if the LLC is owned by your Colombian company, then you would file a Form 1120-F for your Colombian company. And that just protects you in the future in case the IRS tries to challenge you and say that this is US income, you have to pay taxes on it. If you hadn't done the protective return, then you are at risk of having all of your expenses that you had for that income be disallowed. So that's the reason for a protective return. So in conclusion, it's not really important for you to do a protective return this year because first, you had no business activity, and second, none of it was in the US anyways.
All right. Okay. Perfect. I really appreciate your answers and your time.
And actually, as a bonus, one quick thing. Actually, as a bonus to the course, I did include a bonus video explaining that concept in more detail, and also how to prepare a Form 1040-NR. I also have that in the course too as a bonus. So if you wanted to do that anyways, I think it should be in there already. Okay,
great. Thanks so much. Will this get posted to YouTube?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's what this call is, a YouTube call. It doesn't have any information about you at all.
Okay. No, I don't mind. As long I think it helps people a lot in my situation. I think that there's quite a few from what I've seen on the internet.
Yeah, there surely are, and I've been putting a lot of videos out about this, and it's been fun it's a way for me to justify taking a lot more like free calls, because I can do something with the content, hopefully educate some people, get a little nugget in each of the calls, and it's fun for me to practice my production, because I have 2 cameras here and I'm trying to make a better production every time. It's my creative outlet for an accountant, so I like doing it too.
All right. I really appreciate it. I think your content's great, and best of luck to you. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Mauricio. Best of luck to you as well. I hope you have make a lot more money with your LLC in 2021.
I hope so. Thank you so much.
Okay, see you, man. Bye.
Bye.
So that call went really well. Mauricio was a really good sport. He had a lot of good questions, but pretty straightforward questions and something we get a lot. I just opened my LLC. Do I really have to file this form? And I don't make the rules. I just tell you what they are. You probably still have to file the form, and it seems pretty clear that you would be required to file it. Whether you do or don't, that's up to you. And like I said, there's two ways you can get help from us to file this with the course, which is you can probably use year after year, and it includes a review from us. So we'll review the forms after you prepare them to make sure they're done. So you can find that on our website. It should be linked below as well, but it's just mbtaxconsultants.com, and you'll see it on the front page. And then also, yeah, I hope you liked the video. Comment below if you have any questions, and schedule your own call with me if you'd like. In the description below, there's two options for calls: private and calls like this. I love doing calls like this. I like doing private calls too. But either way, have a great day. I appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.